guys, Jill here. I wanted to show you some of the projects that I worked on over Christmas. This isn't all of them. This is the ones that I still maybe have around or just made or just haven't gone out to the recipients yet. Because this year, as every year, I try to make all of my gifts. Now, my brother, my dad, they just get, what they get. Usually a gift card and a cigar or some good booze, something like that. But the women in my family and my friends always get something handmade. So this year, I went with ornaments. And so I had sent some of these to Sarah Elliott, and she's here on YouTube. And then I made a bunch for my family members. Actually, in all, I made 16 of these. They're really simple. What I did was, I have this thing about scraps. I hate scraps. Always have them. But I feel compelled to keep them. Because if you think about it, you paid for the full sheet of chipboard or paper or whatever. So if you throw it out just because it's small, you paid for it. Just like with vegetables and, things like that. So I always try to use my scraps. So this was a really great way to go through my scraps. I think I said I made 16 of these. I bought a bunch of houses from Melissa Francis at Scrapbook Expo last May. And my intention was to make I guess they were sugared houses, very old fashioned. But then I decided I could use those as templates. So I actually followed her designs and cut out my chipboard. And again, using all of my scraps. And I almost used them all up, which was amazing. This is Michael's corrugated card. Everything's glued together with Aleene's glue. And even the roof has the Aleene's glue on it. I used a bunch of different paints. The barn was teal or light green, however you want to see it. I had a church with light blue, and I have them up really high because my cats, they chomped on a bunch of these with the glitter. They just love to chew on it. And then I made a little house that's pink. So all of the houses were cream. And then I put some acetate in the windows. And I put a yard, and each yard had something different. Like the barn has the fence. I have little bottle brush trees on the church, and then the house has flowers, and the bases were all different sizes. So those came out really, I think, really great, and didn't cost me extra money above and beyond the projects I first wanted to work on. This is a card I made yesterday, and again, I'm just on this theme of trying to use the things that I'm buying as well as the things I've bought without putting too much on my cards. So I kind of dug around in my stash. I bought a new container and I filled it with all my flowers and a few other items. So while I was in there, I looked for some things. So the paper is brand new. I bought that a day or two ago. Botanica Noel, I think, from Recollections. And it's on Stampin' Up! Paper. Everything's edged in my silver paint pens. And these are my absolute favorite. They only come in silver and gold. And I'm getting low on them, but they're by Pilot. So I've got to find a source for those. This is my new Penny Black stamp that I got for half price. I colored her with my Spectrum Noirs. I added a little bit of sparkle from the Wink of Stella pen that everybody's been using. I had to get it. I bought these doilies because they were really inexpensive. I mean, like 25 or 50, 75 cents at Joann's. So here comes the cat parade. So I used them, and they're actually way prettier than I thought they'd be. These are the basic gay, oh my gosh, gray, come here, Callie, sorry, pearls. I colored those with a silver, not my paint pen, because that one does not dry, Bic Market pen, like a Sharpie, or actually a Copic. They all have the alcohol ink in them. These are the snowflakes I got at Michael's. And then I had 3 of these Prima poinsettias, and they've been in my collection for a really long time. So I made 3 cards, so I used those. And then little banner with one of my Hero Art stamps. And these are actually my thank you cards for the gifts I received. Let's see. My Christmas card this year is pretty basic. Stampin' Up! Images. It's from the collection that was out last year with the matching dies. This is a Spellbinder die, and the Deck the Halls. It's a stamp set that I got on clearance last year. And then the backgrounds, I used all of my Anna Griffin embossing folders. I have the whole set right now because I subscribe through HSN. Oh, here comes the cat again. And I actually got my last set today. And then I used some foil paper that I have had in my stash for, no kidding, like 10 years. And then I used some of the cards that I got at Michael's on Christmas clearance 2 years ago. So I was happy with how those came out. While we're on cards, I'll show you this one. I had some stuff sitting on my desk, and I know you guys are the same, where it just distresses you to make a card, or at least for me it does, and I know a lot of us. So I had made this poinsettia. I got the die at Michael's for $10 when they were having sales on them. I got this one, the ice skate, and the snowflake banner die. And I haven't shown them or done it much with them, but I did yesterday. So anyway, the other day I made a whole bunch of these, and there's a matching embossing folder. I put the center in there. These are actually thumbtacks at the Dollar Tree. I got a bunch of those. This is some gold bling that Sharon, who's SM Scrapper, sent me. And so it's on a corrugated card. I put some gold Inca. It's like a rub and buff, only it's beeswax on it. Then I used one of the paper collections from this year. Sorry, I don't know the name of it off the top of my head. It's, again, DCWV, and I think it's just like Christmas makings or something like that. And it was out this year. And then I put one of the tags from it on there. And this little girl I've never used. I won her on the Greeting Card blog a while ago. Sitting Pretty is her name. Anyway, so I put her on a little paper piece sofa. And actually, I got my sewing machine. So I made this around Black Friday because I got my sewing machine on Black Friday. I got a brand new one, and my old one decided to start working. So I got to return that. Okay. Then, like I said, I made everybody cards. So I did a whole series of these from the Tim Holtz set. Now, my husband did point out I did it the wrong direction on this one. I should have gone the other direction, but I have been dying to get my hands on those framelits of his, and I decided, well, why not just make my own sections? So that's what I did. And the backgrounds are splattered with the paints that I used. I just used my distress markers on here and some stains. There's the balloon. The present is probably my favorite. And the cupcake. So I sat down one day and just made a ton of these. And then this is another one of the simple thank you cards I made. I took scraps again. Love using up my scraps. And I had these in this size, so I made them into a flag. Then I cut some of the scraps with my Nestabilities, and then the oval Nestabilities is the top. And then I stamped the background with a Judykin stamp, very subtle. Anyway, as you guys can tell, I'm having a hard time with words today. Don't know why. I started this card, and this is actually from the Inspiration magazine I got from Crafter's Companion. This was one of the pages that came, and it showed you like each part to cut and lift as you went. I didn't love the layers that they did, so I kind of made a few of my own. But I had fun with it. I'm going to add something down here, and probably something up here, because you know me. Anyway, so that's the start of that card. And then I've got just a few more things, sorry. Kind of long-winded today. I also made some of those treat containers that Arlene showed. Arlene is My Fly Kisses 12. If there are new people out there that don't know her, I know many of us have subscribed to her for years. Anyway, I used, actually, another awesome scrap thing. I used all of my scraps from 4 different Christmas paper collections that I've been holding on to. Like, this is Making Memories. I think this was Bo Bunny. Stampin', no, not that one, but I used Stampin' Up. And so the inside, I think she used labels for, and I just used a little different one. And I put a little punched image on the side. Each one had a tag on it, and they tie up. And my son, actually both of my sons, even my mom, always ask, what does the fox say? Because of that song that came out. Anyway, it's all over the place. And my sons get a kick out of it. And this is the one I gave one of my sons. So, there's the fox. And I found these on sale at Michael's a few weeks back. So, there's my sons. Here's kind of the model one I started with. And this is the one I kept. So, here's what will be on it. So, those were tons of fun. Speaking of things from other people, this I got from NW Lady. Just like it sounds. NWLADY. She is a design team member for one of the cutting websites, and she has some really fun, cool projects. So, this was her design, and it's a, I guess, portfolio, I'd say. I used 7 gypsies, I think aviary. I have tons of this paper and love it. And there's a pocket here. I put post-it notes right here, and then some little scraps of paper because I am a person that writes everything down because I have a terrible memory. On this one, I didn't make it quite as long. I just cut down one of those pads from Michael's. I put a Tombow Velcro sticker in here. And I think she used one of those little tiny magnets. I actually just ordered some of those. And then this is an RSVP pen. And if you pull the top off, it leaves you with the clear barrel. And so I rolled up a little bit of the paper, and everyone I gave these to, they were really fascinated by that pen. I think it was bigger highlight than the actual book itself. So that matched up with the paper. And again, those are by Pentel, and it's just, RSVP. Okay, lastly, because this is dragging on. Sorry, guys, I haven't shown you much in a while. I did a tag for November, I think. Might it have been December? No. Anyway, Tim Holtz's 12 Tags of Christmas. This had to be December. And he put the frosted film on the Wendy Vecchi Clearly for Art. So I don't have a lot of it. So what I do is when I buy a die cut, it comes, with the plastic. I always cut off the front and back, even if it's scratched or has stickers on it, because you can use it for something like this. So be sure to go over to his blog, which of course you know is timholtz.com. And he shows this technique. You heat it up and kind of mold it. I actually wrinkled up a washcloth, and I just shoved it on there and pushed it around, and then that made everything stick up. I used a yellow velvet brad that I have been holding onto for years. This is colored not with his alcohol inks, which you could do, but he actually used the archival inks, which I have the collection of. So I thought, great way to use that. I used that scraps from the card I had made with the Sitting Pretty Girl, and so I used those scraps for the paper here, as well as this one. I just punched it with one of my new Martha Stewart punches. I used these little snowflakes that were at Michael's, the little wooden ones, and I just used my silver pen on these. And then I used one of these little, I think it's a little yellow bicycle. They're little clips, a little bit of twine I had, and actually just some ribbon that I found, just a little bit of it, so I just dyed it. And then I'm on trend here. I got a few sequins. These are clear, and I just put a few throughout, and I really like the touch they gave. And I think I showed you in a haul. I got the clear ones for 99 cents at Joann's, and then I got a big old hunkin' thing of them at Michael's for $1.50. So, as always, everything's been distressed with Vintage Photo. And I don't think I mentioned that, but that is my distressing color of choice, if not tea dye. So that is the projects that I've been working on, or at least some of them. And if I don't come back with another video, I hope you all have a happy new year. And who knows, I might come up with a video because I have a project in the works right now. So thanks for stopping by, and thanks for hanging in there. Have a great day. Bye.